When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I post on my community tab frequently. This is a story I build on my Discord. I know I've been kind of absent from my Discord, but I'm trying to get back in the habit of using Discord more often, so you find me there if I'm not streaming or making a video. I want to thank Willow for helping me build this story. Now, we start our story off during the emergence of quirks. Day by day, people begin to awaken special abilities that they would deem quirks. Unfortunately, when power manifests, people started to separate from non-power to powered humans. People with abilities, the normal population, would outright attack people with abilities, calling them freaks. When Deku heard of such abilities, he was quite excited, but unfortunately he never manifested any power. So his life continued, accepting he would never acquire such abilities. When Izuku was 18 years old, he started to feel weak and unable to keep food and liquid down. Occasionally have a coughing fit of blood. He had no choice but to visit the hospital. The city itself is in chaos because of the emergence of quirks and the appearance of someone called All For One causing trouble. As you see Izuku in the doctor's office getting checked out, or getting the results of his diagnostic that they ran. What's the diagnostic? How bad is it? Sorry to inform you, but you're dying. We've never seen anything like this. There's a good possibility it might be uncurable. Figures. You don't seem upset. May I ask why? My life has always been shit. It's just another set of bad luck that I've gained so far. How long do I have? 2 years. According to our test, we ran. I would suggest spend what time you have left with your loved ones and family. That would be nice if I had any. I take it there's no treatment? I'm sorry, sir. No. We just don't have the technology for what you have. Thank you for trying, Doctor. Izuku walked out of the doctor's office. Izuku accepted his fate, but you could see the embers of defiance as he has fire in his eyes. Not literally fire. Figuratively. Izuku just scoffed at having an uncurable disease. On his way back to his apartment to get some rest for his high-paid dead-end job that he required. After some time, he got kicked out of the orphanage about the age of 14 years old. On his way back to his apartment, he came across a very old library. He never noticed the building before. It has strange symbols on the building itself. He only saw one person in the library that turned out to be some sort of bookstore. Izuku found the clerk strange, dressing up like a witch. She's clearly suspicious, but regardless, he paid her no mind. Nor did she. He gazed at the different type of books until he came upon a black leathered book with a red pentagram on the cover. He picked up the book and went to the clerk. That's actually a witch, but Izuku is unaware of this knowledge that the supernatural world actually exists. It's not very often we have customers demon summoning. I would be careful with that, young man. That's a very dangerous tome. I take it you're not going to sell this to me? That's not my intention at all, young man. I'm just warning you. If you're unaware of the price, when you summon a creature from that tome, it won't end well for you. Are you telling me this stuff is real? That's in this book? I take it you're an unbeliever. I mean, the mere thought of vampires, werewolves, witches actually exists is unrealistic. Even if this book is real, I'm gonna die regardless. So, why not? The witch took a closer look at the young man's aura. She could tell his body is dying from a blood curse. She's not sure who put the paradox of fate, blood curse, on the boy or his bloodline. This curse might have been originated from his ancestors. It's a very old ancient curse. He suspects at some time during his ancestors' life, they must have pissed off a god or an ancient being of some power. Izuku paid for the book and gave the strange woman not a second thought, and went to his rundown apartment and flopped down on the couch, opening a tome of demon summoning that was quite large, and began reading. Luckily for him, he knows Latin. He's cultured. He knows several languages because of his intelligence. Izuku continued his daily routine. The next morning, got dressed, went to work. He despised his job with a passion in a office building. He might see this job as a shitty job, but at least he's the boss that deals with government contracts. A week has progressed, so did Izuku's condition, but he charged forward. He decided to test the book out. Chances of it being legit, he decided to pick the easiest summon to perform. Chose to summon a creature from hell called a imp. A small devil-like creature. Colors differ according to the text that's in the book. After purchasing some blood and buying the piece of land that has a rundown church in it to use as a staging ground to summon a demon, a creature from hell. As he drew a pentagram in the middle of the church on the floor with black chalk, and pouring the blood over the black chalk, and setting black candles scattered all around the pentagram, and beginning to chant the words in Latin. Not even a second later, when he was done, he summoned a small red imp with a pitchfork in his hand. Holy shit. This is the real deal. It's a good thing I made sure to take precautions, just in case this summoning thing was actually real. If I didn't add that to the pentagram that I drew on the ground, I would be in trouble. Really dead. Things might be small, but I believe he'll be more powerful than a normal human. You summon me, Master? What is your orders? Fascinating. I don't have anything for you to do right now, but what you can do is give me information about this book in hell, in general. Imp. You command, Master. As the little red imp began to tell Izuku about the book he holds in his hands, and about the general information about hell, and each level that has a prince of hell that rules, her or his level of hell, gender doesn't matter. It's just a title they gain when they acquire such power that holds great respect in the hierarchy. Double hierarchy, or hierarchy of hell. Izuku logged all the information he got from the little red imp, then returned it back to hell, as the imp burst into flames, leaving Izuku in deep thought. Despite his high paying salary he gets from the company he works for, he refused to use his income to live in more luxury. He likes to keep it simple, even though his company pays him highly well for quirk research and weapon development for the Japanese government. He likes to keep things simple. He was hired on in a young age, being a genius and all. Most people believe Izuku is a super genius, but Izuku doesn't care for such titles. The only thing keeping him moving forward, that he's highly intelligent. Despite having amazing wealth, he's always felt something in his heart that was something missing, but he could never figure it out. At first he thought it was a quirk that was missing in his life, but that door has been shut and locked. All tests he ran on himself, he just doesn't have the quirk gene. Izuku is one of many people that are quirkless. After all, quirks are freshly a new thing. But Izuku is not mistaken. Things are changing. The status quo will change. Even if people kick and scream for not the change to happen, it's gonna happen regardless. He could see it. More time has passed. His body kept getting weaker and weaker. It's been a full year. He has a year left before his death. So he decided to summon a stronger demon to make some sort of deal, to make his sickness to be removed or cured. He wants power as well. He doesn't want to be another statistic. He wants something more. Once Izuku examined his work, make sure his preparations were all correct, he went back to the old church that he owned, so he won't get interrupted, and set the pentagram in blood, using his own blood this time. When Izuku got done, he didn't know the words. He didn't know the words he was about to change to something else. So did the bloody pentagram on the ground, because of the effects of the Paradox of Fate curse that was cast on his ancestors that were responsible for all of his misfortune he's had during his life. Izuku opened a tome at the part where he left a marker to keep his place. Izuku is still unaware that the words have changed in the book on the page he's about to chant. Once he started, lightning crackled outside as rain starts to rain down, as the moon turned bright red as Izuku begins to chant in Latin. The black candles shoot out fire from the top of the candles, not even melting from the extreme heat. Izuku realized this wasn't the same dialect that he read prior in the summoning. Like going to summon a mid-tier demon, so that demon would have the necessary power to grant what he wants. He gathered the information from the imp about hell and a different type of different levels of demons and devils. A mid-tier demon would be able to grant what he wants, what he's about to ask for. Most likely cause his death. For this type of request, a soul will be required to finish the transaction. Izuku was going to die anyway, so he didn't mind. He's not looking forward to suffering for another year, slowly dying. He would rather go out on his own terms. As the blood pentagram started to gather into each other, as a bright crimson red light mixtures a bit of purple. After the flash ended, the blood, what was once the pentagram, was hovering over itself, forming into a human-like shape. The blood finally complete forming, revealing a bright red skin humanoid figure. The humanoid figure appearance was revealed, a red-skinned woman with red horns, with pointed ears, glowing yellow eyes, and pitch white hair, wearing some sort of clothing covering the majority of her cleavage. Over her small top is a small leather jacket with long sleeves, and wearing a blue jeans. As she gazes around the room with curiosity, she hasn't been summoned to the mortal plane in many centuries. Church, how quaint. Scarlet finally focused her attention to her summoner. When she was finished gazing her surroundings. Well, aren't you attractive one? I have been summoned for a very long time. Ever since it's been even longer since I've been summoned by an attractive young human as yourself. And one as cursed as well. That hasn't happened since my low-tier demon days. Izuku was expecting something more hideous to be summoned, but he spoke up to her comment of being cursed. I don't know what you're talking about, curse. I have an illness. That's absolutely adorable. You think you have some sort of illness. That's just precious. To burst your bubble, handsome. You have no illness. You are cursed, a blood curse. A very ancient one at that. Your ancestor must have been very naughty to be cursed, especially that curse you have. my handsome human, has, has been cursed by the paradox of fate. A very nasty curse. That's most likely the cause of any misfortune during your very short life. To think someone so young was able to summon me, a prince of hell. Fascinating. What do you mean? That can't be right. I was only supposed to summon a mid-tier demon. Did. Get over it, hun. At least you were smart enough to add some sort of protection on the pentagram. At least there's... You're not stupid. In other words, I could hurt you. We don't want that, do we? I could estimate I have a good idea why you summoned me here. I can grant your wish. That protection will fade once we make the deal final. I can't wait. As she gave Izuku a vicious smile. Izuku kept his composure, being threatened by the female demon. It's not the first time he's been threatened. It comes with the territory of his profession. If you had a dollar every time a military figure threatened to kill him, he would be even richer. Of course, I would take precautions. I'm dealing with summoning creatures from hell. Highly doubt I'll be summoning cute little kittens. Or couldn't help but giggle at that thought of summoning a hell kitten. They're extremely vicious and man-eaters. Scarlet's inner thoughts. I'm beginning to like this human. He kept his cool when I threatened him. Smart. I could tell he's highly intelligent. I highly doubt he's been exposed to the magical world or the supernatural world. But the fact that he's able to summon me in the first place shows his talent in the art. So for her natural magical talent, he wouldn't be able to summon me regardless of summoning a low-tier demon or imp from hell. He's perfect. I'm in the market for a new husband anyways. After all, when I caught that bastard cheating with me with a succubus, naturally, I killed the both of them on the spot. Gossip likes to spread. And I'll be damned, I'll be looked upon by the other princes of hell. Or even Lucifer himself. I'm not going to let that happen on my watch. I have my pride as a devil. I need to play the smart. I need to acquire his soul. So he'll be bound to me. But what sort of demon he'll become, that's the question. There's no way I'm making him into an incubus. Then I'll be back where I started. My new future husband, to be loyal to me. As Scarlet just got an idea, that would do just fine. That would do just nicely. As she formulated a plan to make Izuku into a hellhound. Not just any hellhound, a new breed of hellhound that have the ability to form into a human form. The get-go. Hellhounds has that ability, but they are acquired over time when their power grows for each soul they bring to hell in their little hunts. The most experienced hellhounds gain that ability, and plus magic would make him a very powerful hellhound. All she needs now is his soul, so she could improve her love life. Time to put on the charm. As she focused her attention back to the human that has green eyes and green hair. After getting a better look at him, at all his features, she could tell the curse is in full effect by how thin he looks. So what do you need, sweetheart? Money, power, women. She winked at him from the last part. Zuko completely ignored the teasing and the sweetheart part of her comment, and finally spoke up to the devil. I want this illness or curse, whatever. I want it gone and I want power. Power, you say? What will you do with such power if I grant it to you? Absolutely nothing at the current time. I'm intrigued. Please, continue. I can tell you're not going to let this go. Very well. Things are changing. The world is going to change because of the emergence of quarks. If I manage to survive this encounter, I want power so I can blend in better, so I can move along with the changes that's going to happen. Even if people resist, they will be crushed if they can't accept how the world is forging into. I don't see it change personally. Better to lose. I'm going to die regardless. That is true. The human world is changing. But what you're asking is in my capabilities to grant you. But the price is steep. It's going to require your soul and your life. You should come to terms with that. Your human life will be far out of your reach. If I like you, I could offer you something better. It will require your soul and your very life. But the benefits, trust me, you like the benefits. Not both of your requests, but it won't be in the way you think it's going to go. I still require your soul, or end your life. That's non-negotiable. You already summoned me. It's far too late to go back now. Even if you leave this church with your life intact, you either die by the curse or by a lesser demon that I will be sending out to kill you. I am a prince of hell after all, and I don't like being rejected. A girl has to have her standards, a reputation to uphold. Can't have a human back out of a contract with me, still alive, not providing what is mine. That won't be very smart for you, mortal. Considering you haven't interrupted me yet, I can tell you want more details on the bargain I'm offering you. If you make a deal with me and hand over your soul in your human life and make a contract with me, I could grant you what you wish for. You will be tortured and reforged into a new entity that will take many years of suffering and pain. But when you emerge, you'll be something brand new, something better than a mere human. Scarlet walked closer to Izuku and pressed her body against his as she trailed her finger across his cheek on the side of his face. And become my new husband. Those are my conditions. Those are my conditions, love. The process will be quite painful, but the pleasures you will receive by me, of course, will be extremely worth it. You don't need to worry with my power. You'll be able to shift between your new form and a human-like form at your very will when you're reborn. King protocol, but I'm a prince of hell. Who's going to stop me? Izuku's eyes widened slightly from the part of the deal being her husband. Deku's never put any effort or even thought about marriage. He thought the act would be more trouble than it's worth. Courting a woman, listening to her problems, and changing his daily life for another person. Izuku was comfortable with his daily routine. Now he doesn't know what to think, as his brain shut off for a few seconds. Scarlet could easily tell the effect she had on the human, and it greatly pleased her. I think I broke him, as Scarlet begins to giggle. Izuku composed himself and let him... Tries again. Izuku composed himself. Let me get this straight. You want my soul and my very life to change me into some sort of creature. The ability to shift between whatever form I be reborn in into a human-like shape. And to be your husband. Am I correct? Or humans like you, smart on the intake. Yes, that's precisely the deal I'm offering. I'm only offering you this because I took a liking to you. And I'm in a new market for a husband. I have been for many years now. And you fit the bill quite nicely. What exactly will I be reborn into? A more superior hellhound. Hellhound, you say? They're pretty high up in the hell hierarchy. Not as high as a high demon, but respected enough. And how do you know that, handsome? You weren't the first thing from hell that I managed to summon. My first attempt was to summon an imp. I'm still new to this whole magic thing. Very smart. Most humans would never thought of using such precautions. They would normally just charge forward without a second care. Humans can be stupid sometimes. Humans are idiots. Scarlet raised her eyebrow at that comment. I know what you're thinking, Devil. Please, hun, just call me Scarlet, considering how close we are. Izuku ignored that clearly attempts to flirt with him, and continued. The human species in general are a disgusting, war, torture, murder. So let's try it again. The human species is a general disgusting species. War, torture, murder is a common trait when it comes to humanity and humankind. Humans are capable of doing horrible things to their own species. If it wasn't for the small cases of kindness people show, the human race would be unredeemable. Imagine what humans can do with access to magic. We would self-destruct. Wars would instantly evolve into grand scale carnage. That might even happen with the emergence of Quarks. I hate human species in general. A bunch of ungrateful barbarians, if you ask me. Eager to follow their base instincts, like savages. We humans are pathetic, weak-minded species that should have been eradicated during the Stone Age. And adding Quarks to the factor of humanity in the human race, it will only lead to disaster. We're a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. The perfect example for this would be the fanatic All For One, the one who's rampaging across Japan in his one-man army, his one-man war. I've been here and he's been recruiting people, granting people with Quarks, like they're fucking candy. and take him away at his leisure, like some sort of god. You got me curious. Once again, love. Did he never approach this All for One? As she says the last part, a bit of anger in her voice. The high-ups in Hell are very familiar with All for One. They've been keeping an eye on that human. His name has been brought up on many of their meetings when all the princes of Hell all gathered up to do their council meeting every so often. Labeled as a terrorist and bound to a fanatic that's narrow-minded, to a pathetic narrow-minded man. No thanks. This All for One is off his rocker. I've been requesting for the government to kill this All for One for many years. Higher-ups in the government don't deem All for One a threat. They say all the same thing, they always say. Let the police handle it. Wait, you work for a corporation? Yes, we deal with quirk research and weapon development for the government. I'm in charge of both fields at the office. I'm a member of the board. I'm the youngest, actually. Scarlet locked that away for future use. Similar corporations that are in Hell. Not about quirks, of course. And of course, there's no humans in Hell, but there are some companies in Hell that deals with tracking souls that enters Hell and some other fields, like magic. One other corporation called Cerberus. It deals with most people that work at that firm are all hellhounds. I was unaware. That's quite interesting. But we're getting a bit off topic here. Because I'm not human anymore, I accept your terms of your deal. How do we seal this deal of yours? A kiss, of course. It's protocol, but this time, I don't mind. Scarlet placed her lips over Izuku's lips to sealing their deal. The second they broke off their kiss, Scarlet rammed her hand into his chest, piercing his heart with her claw. Scarlet noticed the human coughing up blood, so she lowered him onto the ground and placed his head on her lap as she runs her hands through his hair. As Izuku goes through the process of dying, just relax, it'll be over soon. Let your heart give out. I'm sorry for what is about to happen to you next. Izuku suddenly stopped breathing as his hand fell limp, as it fell to the ground lifeless. Scarlet gently placed Izuku's head on the ground and got up, and she extracted his soul from his body and placed Izuku's soul in a round hell glass container that's meant to hold single souls for special contracts. The glass is more durable than glass from Earth. You spot the tome and picked it up. It's best if I take this with me. It would be a good addition to my collection in my personal library. With one wave of her hand, Izuku's body caught fire as Scarlet burst into flames, disappearing. When the fire died down, Scarlet reappeared in her throne room on her level of hell as she sat down and crossed her legs while the glass container contains Izuku's soul on her lap. Now the hard part is getting rid of that pesky curse. As she opened the container and put her hand into the mortal soul of Izuku, it took her several hours of getting rid of the curse and modifying Izuku's soul. She shut the lid container when she was done and got up from her throne and made her way towards the pit area where the Hellhounds are born. After stepping through a portal that leads to the pit area on this level of hell that she controls, she walks into the pit of lava, more like a large pond that's filled with lava. Scarlet walked to not the deepest part of the lake, of the pit. The lava is currently around her waist as she opens the container and drops the soul into the lava. As the lava begins to torture the human soul, it's the process of how newborn Hellhounds are born in this way. They're able to reproduce normally when enough Hellhounds are born, but occasionally a Hellhound will be born in the old ways. It walked out of the pit and leaned against the closest hell tree that's next to the pit. A hell tree is a black tree with black leaves that produces hell fruit. It's very tasty fruit in hell and quite popular in the cities. As generations has passed, Scarlet would come to the pit every time when she has some free time to see the progress, until one day a three-head Hydra, not Hydra, wrong creature, a three-head Hellhound bursts out of the lava of the Hellhound pit. As a humongous creature jumps out of the pit and lands right in front of Scarlet, revealing a three-headed black Hellhound as fire escapes from its mouth and eyes and claws. Scarlet can see the very sharp claws and teeth and some sort of black spikes on his back. As Izuku Bloodhound. Izuku's Bloodhound form resembles a dragon-like like Hellhound. Just marvelous. As the very big Hellhound stared down at Scarlet. As Scarlet could tell he is as big as a building. Much bigger than a normal Hellhound. Flames erupt over the Hellhound. Suddenly, the fire engulfed the humongous Hellhound, revealing Izuku's new form. His green hair was gone, replaced with his pitch black raven-like hair. And his green eyes was replaced with red and a bit of yellow in the iris itself. As Izuku looked around and started to move his limbs to get a feel for his new body. How do you feel, Izuku? Don't call me that. I suppose since your rebirth, you require a new name. Call me Dusk. Dusk. A fine name, Dusk. Scarlet gently took Dusk's hand. I have so much to show you, my love. To work on your size in your Hellhound form. You're as big as a building in that. We don't want you to destroy the city now. Wait. There are cities in hell? Of course there are, silly. The cities of hell are quite similar to human cities, only difference, there's no humans in them. Once you get a handle on your new abilities, you will find out how much stronger and faster you are compared to you when you were a human. I will be with you the entire time. After all, it's the least I could do as your future wife. It's only natural I would help you during this process. Once we get your powers under control, we'll talk about the wedding. That will be arranged in the future. Dusk allowed himself to be dragged off. He immediately noticed the strange purple sun in the sky. Is that a purple sun? That it is. In my level of hell, there's a day and night cycle. It's artificial, of course. You'd be amazed what magic can do. I have so much to show you. You have untapped talent in the art of magic. Let's pick up the pace, fiancé. You have much to learn. As much as I would love to spend every waking moment of my day with you, I have responsibilities. Scarlet returned back to her castle and got Dusk into her proper attire. Are you serious? This is a school uniform. Exactly. As Deku found himself in front of some sort of building for new arrivals of Hell, it looks like a version of school on Earth for the people of Hell, demons and such not. He found his designated room. He found an empty seat in the back of the class. Every new revival are required to take these courses to better implement them in the Hell hierarchy. As their instructor walks in, as a well-dressed, high-class demon walked into the classroom, teachers, a two-horned demon, entered the classroom, gazed at the new arrivals, uninterested. You must be the new arrivals. Welcome to Hell. This is Hell 101. You'll be learning the general information to learn your abilities. As you can tell, there's a variety of you here today, depending on what race you belong to. If you're a demon, devil, succubus, incubus, you will have a higher standing in Hell hierarchy. Most of you will have a head start, and some of you might have to work your way up. It's how things run around here. Get used to it. Now let's move on for our first lesson of the day. Let's start with the introduction of imps. The backbone of the city of Hell. Of all cities. As the teachers show pictures of different kind of imps in all sorts of colors, and go over what sort of jobs they do in Hell. They all do the menial jobs, like trash pickup, mailman, and menial jobs that normal demons or devils would never do. Dusk is a bit irritated having to attend some sort of school in Hell that resembles a college, instead of integrating them to Hell, as is currently a law to all new arrivals to attend this academy. As we cut to a few hours before he went to Hell Academy, as he's standing by Scarlet's side, as we cut to a flashback, Deku's looking over the papers and Scarlet studying. And Scarlet's study. This is what I think it is. That it is. It's a register form for your courses, of course. You need to attend this academy. It's mandatory, love. I can't wait. As Deku said that sarcastically. It won't be as bad as you think. How long? As Dusk admitted a defeat. 30 years. Dusk grumbled and signed the form. Gonna be Dusk for now. You'll be taking my last name once we marry. What's your last name, anyways? My full name is Scarlet Bloodhound. Dusk Bloodhound. It does have a nice ring to it. Wouldn't you agree, love? Deku was smart enough to agree with Scarlet. He doesn't want to have a second death, considering she already killed him once. He doesn't want to have a repeat of that, even though he barely remembers his time as humans. When he was a human, he remembers pieces of his life. It does, dear. I'm happy to hear that. Here's everything you need for the courses you're going to be taking. I have I'll have one of my demons escort you to the campus. The flashback, as Dusk kept notes during the lecture. After a long several hours of a lecture, Dusk was about to leave for his just to leave for the last. Basically, he was just about to leave until the professor stopped him. Can I have a moment of your time, Dusk? The rest of you are free to go. I'll see you tomorrow in class. You need something, sir? When I found out a Hellhound will be attending my course, just want to make sure you keep in mind, you must stay in your human form. I don't want the chance of you going berserk in your Hellhound form. You're a bit of a special case. Most Hellhounds, young as you, don't have access to that ability. Like I said, young pup. You're a bit of a special case. We don't want any accidents, do we? No, sir. Understand, Professor. I'll keep that in mind. Good. I'll see you tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. Dusk left the classroom and went into some sort of cafeteria, seeing all kinds of strange food. He got in line and got a tray of food from the lunch lady that seemed to be a pink imp. Deku decided to eat his meal at the end table that was completely empty. His solitude was soon interrupted by a much experienced new arrival, a newborn demon. The demon itself is pretty large, bulky, and muscle. Well, no horns to be seen, but glowing red eyes and red skin. Here, he almost looks human. Deku continued to eat, completely ignoring the large demon. The demon swiped the tray off the table. Don't ignore me, little punk. You need to learn the status quo around here, newbie. I was eating that, you mongrel. Dusk could see the tick marks on the demon's face. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. Dusk got up while the large demon threw the table across the room where Dusk was sitting prior, as the rest of the demons and devils all gather up to watch the fight. I would advise you, you oversized gorilla, to not get on my nerves. I'm already in a bad mood already. The large demon swung his fist, making contact across Deku's face. The demon was surprised that Dusk didn't even move, not Didn't even move, not even an inch. From the force of this punch. Is that all? Is that it? I'd even felt that. Not only you're a mongrel, but you're weak mongrel at that. Simply pathetic. As Dusk has a smirk on his face. But I do need to test a couple things out. You're definitely going to be a good test subject. You seem pretty durable. So I don't believe this will kill you. Before the demon could say anything further, Dusk flicked his finger at the demon's right arm as it broke on impact. The limb broke immediately when he flicked the demon's arm, as he held on to his right broken arm and screaming in pain. Dusk kicked the back of his knee, forcing the large demon to kneel down on one knee right in front of him. You could have minded your own business. You're lucky I can't control my strength, or you would be dead. But this will suffice. This will be efficient enough. Said, mongrel, you're lucky I can't control my power, or you would be dead, as a mere strike would probably kill you. As Dusk flicked the forehead of the demon, as the demon's eyes rolled back of his head, as he falls down to the ground, unconscious, as he shoots off into the wall of the cafeteria. A second later, as the cafeteria was dead quiet, the demons and devils look at Dusk. The demon that Deku does basically manhandled is well known to bully new arrivals quite often. Dusk begins to leave the cafeteria as everyone took a wide berth as they all got out of Dusty's way as he begins to walk out the cafeteria. After some taking more classes, Dusk is standing in front of the academy, the front entrance, waiting for the same devil that escorted him back to the palace. After a few minutes of waiting, the demon finally arrived. A couple hours later, Dusk is sitting in some sort of dining room table, while Scarlet is finally sat down across from him. As Imp starts to bring in some food, and a couple of maids, low class demons wearing maid outfits, help bringing in the food for the two of them. How was your first day? Interesting. I didn't think you would have trouble in the courses. That's not what irritates me. I had a run-in with a larger demon that tried to intimidate me. Did you kill him? No, I knocked him out by flicking his forehead. You told me if I used my full strength that a strike could easily kill a lower class devil or demon by accident, so I figured a flinger flick would be efficient enough if I ran into any trouble. She gave her fiancé a smirk. I might have forgotten to tell you, most of the young demons and devils are quite arrogant. It's a common trait. I was much like that when I was younger. Doubt you gave him a deep dish of humbleness that he needed. You're able to do anything you want outside of killing. Fights break out quite often. It's common for the new arrivals during their education. Eat up. I'll help you train with your ability. Try again. Eat up. I'll help you train with your ability as a Hellhound, you have the natural ability to create fire, and you're far more powerful than a normal Hellhound fire, I suspect. That's where we're going to cut our story off. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Judging my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.